Hey everyone, it's Lauren Weibert. I am your mindset coach, and I am so pleased to be here today with my friend and former client, Lee Cannefax. Lee, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Laura. It's wonderful to see you. It really is.
I have loved catching up. Lee and I have been chit-chatting behind the scenes and getting updates on life and health and business out of the way. But we wanted to hit the record button on this part of our session because Lee has a phenomenal story of how he was able to change his paradigm in a very specific way. And every time I start covering lessons 2, lessons 3, lessons 4, Lee is always at the top of my mind because he had such a solid example of how he was able to take one singular problem that you were having in your life, right? And completely change a lot of things because you changed your mental habits and your physical habits around this one thing. So tell us about that, Lee. We both know what we're talking about, but the viewers don't yet. So tell us about your massive paradigm change.
Well, it sounds like such a great buildup for such a simple thing, but we're talking about building blocks, right? You got to put everything together. So I have a background. I have an insurance practice, and my house is maybe 15 minutes from it's not even 5 minutes from my office. And I got the office because working out of my house didn't cause me to have any discipline. So, I mean, it was easy to have my office going and Oprah, for example, in the background. I never watched Oprah, but you get the idea. I mean, I could be in my socks and underwear and a t-shirt on a telephone. Who's going to know? Well, if you're going to run a successful business, you have to treat it like a business. So I spent the money to get an office.
And there you are.
Yeah, and here I am. And magically, my practice climbed. Well, it was the dedication to making a business in all aspects. People actually know on the other end of a telephone how serious you are, how dedicated you are, how positive you are. Don't kid yourself, they know.
Oh, yeah.
So over time, I found myself, well, who's to say what time I arrive at work? I mean, I work for me. I mean,
yeah, there's nobody calling you first thing in the morning going, Lee, it's 9:57. Where are you? You were supposed to be here 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I'll be there. So taking TIR, working with Lauren, I started punishing myself a little bit about it and beat myself. I finally decided to take action, and I was very much involved in affirmations, writing something 50 times, 100 times a day, saying things over and over again. Where's my little clicker? And clicking off how many times per day I said it. And I wasn't sure I believed it, to be honest. I wanted to see what kind of results I got. The major result, the one Lauren's speaking about, is, if you're going to be in business, man, you got to be there at a certain, you can't have banker's hours all the time in this business. And so I just trained myself, and I will be at the office 8 in the morning. Not 8 in the morning to have breakfast, but 8 in the morning. Turn the sign on, open the door, start welcoming people in, answering the phones, responding to emails.
Because for the viewers that don't know, Lee's office is in a small town, but it is on a main drag, right? And so potentially when you were 5 to 7 minutes away at your home and still having breakfast or whatever, it's possible that someone was driving by on their way to work and they saw, oh, Health Markets, that's right, I need to settle my insurance and I should go make an appointment with him. And they pull on the door and nobody's there, right?
Right. That happens. But you don't know it happens because you're not there.
Right.
Yeah. So now I'm here, the light is on, there's a sign out front that I carry out there in the morning, little trifold things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's obvious that if you wanted to stop, I mean, people don't say, oh, there's not a line up front trying to get in. But who wants to see the insurance guy anyway if they don't think they have to? But I mean, all the time, people stop by and say, I've been meaning to stop by, or I came to see you and you weren't here, but I got your business card, so I'm back. And
Oh, right.
most often it turns into a deal. Sometimes it doesn't, but it still turns into a connection
Yeah.
and handle what their needs are. So now they know when they do need something, who they're going to call. So,
So yeah, go back to the part where you were saying, you touched on, now you know how important affirmations were, but you used to not believe that something so simple could really change the trajectory of your entire business and your income and your life, right? So break down for anybody watching, what was it, that you identified as, this is a bad habit? And then what were the steps that you took to change that bad habit, without feeling like you forced yourself to do something and without slipping back into a bad habit or worse?
yeah. So writing it, saying it, writing it. At some point, there needs to be an action step.
And what was it that you were writing to yourself or saying to yourself?
I think I already said it. I will be at the office at 8 in the morning with a sign on, ready to work, answering calls. It's not that, I mean, listen, I could get here at 8 in the morning and have my feet up watching TV on the computer screen till noon if I chose to. So I'm going to be here at 8 in the morning. I'm just going to be here at 8 in the morning. How hard is it? And 5 minutes away. Put on some clothes, show up. And when I mean show up, I mean show up.
Right.
Have the systems on and open and ready to do business with anybody that comes in. I do email responses in the morning. I mean, there's a lot of things during the day that you do that could be done in off hours.
Sure.
So I start off with answering emails, answering phone calls. It's amazing the work that takes place in business between the hour of 8 and 9. It's amazing. It really is. Other people, did you know other people that work by 8 in the morning? It's true.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
So how many days or weeks was it that you did the process of the writing? Because I remember you telling me, you realized like, okay, I really should be to the office by 8 a.m. But you probably felt like you were forcing yourself because you realized like, hey, this is just not something I do. It's not already a habit. So let me test out this theory that these affirmations really work. How long did you do the affirmations, and what did you notice happening internally and externally? Because you and I know, right? Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then in the outside world. So tell me about, let us peek behind the curtain and go, okay, we know he was working with affirmations, but what was it like for you when it was happening?
That's kind of a hard thing to put into. I'll just say it. I mean, so did I want to be here at 8 in the morning? Of course not. I was pretty comfortable in my routine. But if you're going to do the work and say it and write it, and say it and write it, and say it and write it, at some point you want to try it out. But it's not forcing now. It is, okay, let's give it a shot. It turns into optimism, not being forced. And I think that one, and this is the part that's maybe hard to understand. I think that happened because I've been saying it and writing it. So, I mean, I don't want to use the word negative. It's an ugly word. My my unwillingness to actually believe in it or actually do it my unwillingness all fell away.
Mm,
Because I've been saying it and writing it, saying and writing it, saying and writing it for a couple of weeks or more. And I'm talking about, I will be at work at 8 in the morning 100 times. I will be at work at 8 in the morning, ready to work 100 times. And that gets kind of hard in the hands after a while. And that's why I got the credit. That's
you're
why,
literally saying that you would write it out 100 times every single day, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we got to make this super clear for people, because I think people sometimes think with affirmations, oh, I'll say it to myself twice or 3 times in the morning in the mirror
No,
before I get up, or
no, 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 no,
come
no.
to
No,
mind a few times a day.
if you want it, write it. If you
Yeah,
believe it, even if you don't really believe it yet, but you want it very deeply and you're willing to give it a shot, which is where I was, write it. Come on.
got it. Got it. Because yeah, I mean, 100 times a day, you're spending probably at least what, 20 minutes or so, even if it's a very short sentence. I love being at the office at 8 a.m. every day, or I will be at the office 8 a.m. every day, right? That still takes 20 minutes where you're there just sitting focused on just those thoughts.
Yeah, and then you can't say, well, I wrote it. Now what? It has to happen because I wrote it. No. Start putting it, that's where the action step is. And for me, it wasn't an effort anymore. It wasn't begrudgingly. It wasn't,
Hmm.
well, I'll give it a shot. There was none of that. It was, you know, go. You might enjoy it. And then you come in and your life changes a little bit. And some magic thing happens that you wonder if that was for you or if it was a coincidence. And then something happens again. And you wonder, well, that was kind of nice. Well, it happened twice. No big deal. And then it happens the 10th time, the 20th time. Somewhere along the process, you realize, hey, man, I made that happen.
Right.
Because my conscious and my subconscious mind sent it out there and it came back to me. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for sure, you created that. You are a powerful creator, and people don't realize that even something as little as showing up at the office on time every
I
day,
know.
whatever on time is for you,
I know.
talk to us about the ripple effect that one decision that you made, what, probably 2-ish years ago now, you identified one result that you were getting that you did not like anymore. You changed your paradigm around that one thing. What has that done for your business, for your mental attitude, for your finances? Tell us about the good stuff.
Well, income went up a lot, but that's really, oh, I almost need other people to give me feedback on that. But I'll tell you what I think. I think when people walk in, they see a more professional environment. Okay, less of a haphazard or let's go see my friend Lee. Let's go see my let's go see my insurance advisor.
My trusted partner in helping me make important decisions for my family.
Yeah. So it became more of a polished, if you will, agency. It became more of a, it's still fun to be here, I hope, because I want to break down walls and barriers, and I want a connection. I don't want to say, yeah, oh, you want health insurance or life insurance? Well, here's this book is really shiny. This is the one for you. I don't do that. I dig into what their needs are, what their budget is, and then I search. I do the homework. I look for what might be the best solution for them. Then I let them choose. What do you think? This one's best or that one's best? I want that involvement. My appointments are an hour and a half. But a lot of people in my team are seeing people in 30 minutes. That's fine. I don't want to be that way. I want to really take time to be the trusted advisor, because I'm not stupid. Those people are going to stay with me a lot longer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and they're going to be friends, and I want them to be friends as well as clients. So
And now you have more time in your day to actually spend this time with people because you're starting your day earlier, AKA on time.
and I'm enjoying it more.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to come full circle.
Right.
When you do what you want to do, and you're willing to take it serious, and then you see the result. Now, if you didn't see the results, you might get lazy. But when you see the results of it and it's starting to happen, you don't want the hamster to fall off the wheel. You want to keep them going, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, I end up being here later at night, and I mean, if I'm not here by 8 in the morning, it's like, man, I held somebody up, and I don't want to hold anybody up. I don't want to be late. I never want to be late to an appointment. Well, now I'm an appointment.
Right.
I need to be there. That light needs to be on. Somebody might be waiting in the parking lot for me to show up. That's happened.
Yeah.
So,
well, and now there's a predictability to your own life and your schedule, and other people are noticing that too. And what we know is, you know, especially with your environment, people are just part of your environment. Every person that you interact with is just holding up a mirror and showing you what you believe about yourself, which is, I'm here on time, I'm polished, I'm professional, I love helping people, I love being their advisor. And they come in and they're like, oh yeah, we see that too.
And then they know what to do. They tell other people.
Yes. So clearly,
and then more people come.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're ready for them. This one little thing has completely changed
such a simple little thing.
Yeah.
Be the professional, be there, have the sign on, open it up.
And with the affirming, I remember you telling me this, but correct me if I'm wrong. You never felt like you had to force yourself to go to the office. It used to feel like you had to force yourself to go to the office.
Yeah.
But once you started reprogramming your thoughts through constant spaced repetition, writing it out every day, dumping that new idea into your subconscious mind, pushing out the old idea. Okay, you've completely let go of the old idea of I show up whenever I feel like it, to I'm there, I'm polished, I'm ready. You know, that it's not you never had to whip yourself to get your butt in gear. It automatically happened. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. So you're writing it, you're saying it, you're writing, you're saying it. What happened to me, I believe, I mean, it's 2 years ago or something like that. I think at some point, I'm sure it wasn't, boy, you said it now, duh. But what happened is, man, I want to go. I want to be there. Okay, so you go there and you get rewarded for it, and that feeds you, right? And then you get rewarded for it, and then that feeds you, right?
Yes.
And then what happened is the old habit went away, and when one habit goes away, what happens? The new one comes in, and I didn't say that I was mentally seeing that. All I know is I have a habit of being at the office at 8 in the morning. There was no conscious thought of, make it, no force feeding. It just flowed. It just happened. And now it cannot, unhappen, or I feel like I'm holding I know there's somebody out front. Why aren't I there? You can't do that. I don't like that word, can't. I will be there because
I love that.
I'm supposed to be there. I say I'm going to be there. So I'm going to be there.
Well, Lee,
coffee in hand at 8 in the morning. But the computer, right? But the computer's on and the systems are up. I'm answering phone calls and emails, and the wheels are clicking. First appointment's coming up. I better prep for it. Next thing I know, it's 6 o'clock at night.
That is so great. I'm so thrilled for you, and I'm very proud of everything that you've created. And something that we were chatting about behind the scenes is, a lot of people come to thinking into results, and they think it's just going to change their business. But you mentioned too, before we turn the recording on, this has changed every aspect of your life.
I don't think, well, I don't know everybody that's in your classes, but from my sample of my peers and that were in there, we didn't go there to change our lives. We went there to change our professional lives. I don't think I realized, and therefore I don't think a lot of people realize, that this is not about your business at all. Your business is a facet of it, and that's what brought you. But if you let it, it will help you find what you love most in all of your life. And so when I don't know, when something happens outside of the world, outside of my business world, that I feel an impact on, I realized, thank you. I'm grateful. I'm really humbled and grateful that this happened. And that sometimes it is, and my favorite aspiration, I'm saying it wrong, is I'm humble and grateful that new people choose our business every day. They don't, they don't have to. So the affirmation is, I'm humble and grateful new people choose our business every day. I'm humble and grateful new people choose our business every day. Humble, and it's true. It's really honestly not true. And so it takes into the private life, something good happens. Wow, how neat was that? I'm really grateful that happened. I'm humble about it. So it affects my whole life. And if you notice, I'm still saying affirmations.
I did notice, but that's awesome. Congrats on that too. That's a habit that you formed in and of itself, and it sounds like it's
That's another habit. That's probably my most favorite. There's a lot of them. One of my most favorite takeaways from the whole class is affirmations. They're powerful.
Yes.
They're wonderful.
Oh yeah. You can pick any result that you see in your 3D world that's not totally pleasing to you. Identify it. Be sad about it or angry about it or whatever you need to do in that moment, but then go inward and go, wait a second, I can change this. Create an affirmation around it based on the exact polar opposite, the results that you do want, and then do the constant spaced repetition. Be persistent about that. Persist in the new thought, and whether it takes days, weeks, months, or even a year or two to get that situation to change, it will, if you stay persistent in your affirmations.
See, this was a test for me. I wanted to make changes in my life. I knew that, obviously, I wouldn't have been in TIR. And I didn't want to take on a huge challenge. I wanted to say, yeah, I should have been born in Missouri, because you got to show me. So I picked on something simple, something that I knew was wrong. I knew I should do better at. And I started affirming that I will be at the office 8. And that worked. And it really worked. And it is a habit. It is part of my life. And that gives you the show me to take on other aspirations. And I would want your students to know, find one or two. Don't try to take on 20. Find one or two things, affirm it, set your mind, listen to your coach, work with your coach, and make that one or two things happen in your life, because that will set you on the permanent journey, not just the 10-week journey or whatever it is, on the permanent journey towards a better, more professional life in your business and outside your business.
I love that, Lee. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for taking the time this morning to impact who knows how many hundreds or thousands of people will watch this video in the years to come, but we so appreciate you peeling back that curtain a little bit and saying, come, look how I did it, because if Lee can do it, then anybody can do it. And look at all the good that it's brought Lee. And I just want to congratulate you again, Lee, for just your dedication and, you know, your ability to prove to yourself, I can create any result that I want. I truly can make my own success predictable like a machine, right? Like, yeah, I'm really, really proud of you.
Habitually.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks again for listening. And Lee, thank you so much for sharing your story with all of us.
Thank you very much. Good to see everybody.